Good morning. Today is Wednesday, November 15th, 2023. The Rambam writes, Maimonides, Tzara kol adam shiira atzmo, kol hashana kula, ki ilu chetzio zakai v'chetzio chayev. A person should look at themselves all year long as if I am equally balanced between merit and sin, and the entire world is equally balanced between merit and sin. If I violate one sin, I will then cause myself and the entire world to the side of sin. Asa mitzvah achas, if I do one mitzvah, harei hachriya es atzmo ves kol olam kulo, I will then push myself and the entire world to the side of merit and to the side of redemption. That passage of the Rambam was in my mind yesterday when I traveled to Washington, D.C. to rally in support of Israel, to stand among 300,000 Jews in one place, supporting Israel, demanding release of the hostages, making it clear that anti-Semitism is unacceptable. What difference does it make if I was there, 300,000 plus or minus one? What difference does that make? Well, the Rambam says that I need to look at it as if my presence made the difference, and every single person who was there should be able to say to themselves that they made the difference. They made the difference in creating a rally of approximately 300,000 people yesterday that was the largest pro-Israel rally in the history of the United States. The Rav Yosef Soloveitchik, once described the people of Israel to a kind of a crazy, weird case in the Talmud. The Talmud asked the following question: what happens if you have a son and the son has two heads? So when it comes time for inheritance, the father passes away and each son gets a share. Does this son get one share because it's one son, or does it get two shares because there are two heads? Crazy question. And the Talmud says, here's what you do. You take boiling water and you pour it on the head of one, and you see if the other head screams. If the other head screams, that shows that they are really one. One feels the pain of the other. If the other one does not scream, that indicates they're two separate individuals just connected at part of their body. But this is the essential foundation of our obligation, specifically outside of Israel, during a time when there is turmoil in Israel or any part of the world. Boiling water is being poured on one head. Do we feel that pain? That's our obligation. And we went to Washington to say loudly and publicly that we are one head, that we feel the pain. Rabbi Ari Berman, who is the president of Yeshiva University, said there are times when God invites us to participate in the unfolding of Jewish history. And this is one of those times. I felt that yesterday. I felt that I and everyone around me was participating in the unfolding of Jewish history. The event was remarkable in many ways, and I'm sure you will read about it and hear about it. The way in which the expressions were a love of Israel and of America. There was no one wearing a mask, no one speaking about hate. Everyone expressing concern and pain over any difficulty being suffered by the civilians of Gaza. There was no violence. Someone asked a police officer in Washington, D.C., how he found the crowd today. And this was his response: I got a career's worth of thank yous in one shift today. We were so grateful for every person who helped to make this such a meaningful event, and to have a tenor and a mood that was unique, that reflected well on the Jewish people and on our cause. One of the most significant accomplishments of the rally yesterday, and I had the feeling of my being there yesterday, is the numerous people in Israel that I heard from who felt so supported and so loved because they have felt alone. And to be able to do something that allows them to understand and see visibly that we are one, and we feel the pain of what you are going through there because we are one. My Aunt Joan, who I've quoted to you before, she wrote, she knew that I was there and she knew a number of other people who were there. The declaration of unity that was demonstrated today in Washington, remember, she's writing from Efrat, she's writing from Israel. The declaration of unity that was demonstrated today in Washington repeated a message that cannot be proclaimed enough for all of us in Israel. You are not alone. We are one family. A woman in Israel wrote that the rally in Washington yesterday was like a warm hug, like a comfort blanket over wounds on a chilly, rainy day that was made colder from worry over our soldiers out there needing to now also deal with the cold and rain. And then this rally lit a bonfire that warmed us and comforted us. Sarah Tuttle Singer wrote, "Thanks to my friends marching in D.C. Your courage is a guiding light, and we see you and appreciate you and love you." That we were able to do this for our brothers and sisters in Israel was such a privilege. For me personally, there were a number of highlights. To hear Yishai Ribo singing Shir Hamalos. To hear the Maccabees singing and to sing along Achenu, Achenu Kol Beis Yisrael. But among the speakers, there was one who stood out for me as the most moving. And that was Rachel Goldberg. Now you may know of her, you may have heard her speak before, but she spoke with an unusual eloquence and depth and power. So I want to share with you a bit of what she said. She said, "My name is Rachel. My son Hersch was wounded and later taken captive by Hamas." She talked about how she and all of the other families of the hostages have been living these last days. She said, "We all have third-degree burns on our souls. But the real souls suffering are those of the hostages. And they want to ask everyone in the world, the screamers, the indifferent, the academics, the knowledgeable, the passives, the perfectly outraged, the righteous, the indignant, the haters, the leaders, the lovers. They ask every single one of us, why? Why is the world accepting that 240 human beings from almost 30 countries have been stolen and buried alive? These children of God range in age from 9 months to 87 years. They are Christians, Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, and Hindu. Why are they being left underground in the dirt? Abigail Moore Edan is 3 years old. She watched her parents get murdered in front of her, and then she was kidnapped. And she would like me to ask the world, why are you letting her stay in the dark, in her trauma, buried in the earth's crust? And Joshua Mulel, who is a Tanzanian African graduate student studying agribusiness, would like me to ask you why somehow his life actually doesn't matter. The world must prepare what we will say to them. There was a Christian German who hid Jews during the Holocaust, and he was asked why he did such a heroic and dangerous act. His answer was simple. At least I will know, when I die and stand before God, He will not ask me what He asked Cain in the Bible, Cain, after murdering his brother Hevel. Where were you when your brother's blood cried out from the ground? What the world needs to start thinking about today is, what will your excuse be? My deepest prayer is that the world will listen and bring them home now. My friends, I wish you a good day, and I look forward to seeing you all soon in person.